Recently, United States President Donald Trump made a surprising statement. He said it's an honor to have international students in the US. He added that we want them, but we also want them to be checked. You know what? This shift in tone comes after months of tough rules that made it tougher for foreign students, specifically from countries like China and India, to enter and stay in the US. In fact, back in 2024, Trump had even promised green cards to international graduates from top US universities like Harvard and MIT. He said that it was sad to see such talented students forced to leave the country. However, those promises never came true. Instead, after returning to the power, his administration brought in stricter rules, stopping visa interviews, limiting entry for foreign students, and even trying to block access to universities like Harvard. One such order was so extreme that a federal judge had to stop it the very next day. There was even a moment when Trump suggested limiting foreign students to just 15% of the total student population, a move that shocked many educators. Well, despite this confusion, Indian students still see the US as a dream destination. But they are also very cautious now. Education experts in India say that students should try to focus on their studies, but also be aware of changing immigration rules. Akshay Chaturvedi, who runs Leverage Edu, advised students to keep studying hard and avoid getting distracted by political changes. Free speech and protest matters, he said, but every country has its own rules and the US is no different. Another education expert, Rahul Subramaniam, pointed out that US universities actually depend a lot on Indian students, not just for academic strength but also for money. He believes that current situation is temporary and will eventually improve. The third educator, Abhijit Zaveri from Career Mosaic, said that the students who were deported or faced problems usually broke some of visa rules, like working without permission or taking part in sensitive political protests. According to him, law-abiding students on F1 visas generally don't face any kind of issue. But you know what? The number tells a different story. Even though Indian students made up the largest group of international students in the US in 2024, that's about 27% of the total, the situation is changing fast. From March 2024 to March 2025, the total number of international students in the US dropped from 1.15 million to 1.02 million, an 11% decline. But for Indian students, the drop was much sharper, 28%, and that too from over 354,000 to just 255,000 only. In the meantime, the number of Chinese students actually increased by 3.28%, reaching around 263,510. So, what's causing this drop? Education experts like Chris R. Glass from Boston College says that it's not just politics. Many Indian students are avoiding the US because of high tuition fee, long visa delays, and better options in countries like Canada, Australia, or Germany. There's also fear. Stories of Indian students being mistreated, handcuffed, or deported are spreading fast on social media, and that's scaring their entire family. Glass warns that international students, specifically those doing masters and PhDs, are not just extra help for US science and research. In many areas, they are the entire system. Losing them means losing future innovation. So you know what the bottom line is? Trump's softer words sounds really nice, but the reality is still tough for many international students, specifically Indians. With more than a quarter of foreign students in the US coming from India, any shift in policy deeply affects thousands of young lives.